Right. So today we're going to take a deep dive, and we're going to look at something that I think everybody can relate to.
Absolutely.
And that is these public spaces that we kind of take for granted.
Yeah.
We go to them every day. We use them
every day.
And we're going to be looking at this source material called Easy English Podcast.
Okay, cool.
And it's really interesting because even though the source material itself is pretty basic,
okay,
I think there's a lot of really interesting things that we can kind of glean from it and learn about these spaces.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think you can learn a lot about a society and a culture by looking at their public spaces.
Yeah, and how people use them.
Exactly, and how they value them.
Exactly.
And how they design them even.
Yeah, and what's important to them.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so the first one that they talk about is the supermarket.
The supermarket.
Which I think everybody's familiar with.
I think so, yeah.
Unless you're living off the grid. Yeah.
Exactly.
You're probably going to the supermarket.
Oh, regularly, yeah.
And they use this example of Emma and Jack making grocery lists.
Okay.
And what I thought was so interesting was even that simple act of making a list, you can
It's true, yeah.
really kind of tell a lot about people.
It is. You can tell a lot about a person by what's on their grocery list.
Oh, yeah.
What kind of foods do they like? Are they buying organic? Are they buying name brand? Or are they,
Are they buying in bulk?
Exactly. Yeah. Are they buying for a family or are they buying just for themselves?
Are they buying like those pre-made meals, or are they buying a bunch of ingredients to cook something big,
Totally.
So I thought that was really interesting.
It is. Yeah. It's kind of a window into
The way to kind of start it off.
people's lives.
Yeah.
Just through their grocery lists.
Yeah. And then you think about the supermarket as a whole.
Right.
It's kind of a microcosm of society.
Absolutely. Yeah.
I mean, you can see the economic trends.
You could
kind of what's in demand.
What's in demand.
Yeah, what's expensive, what's cheap.
Totally.
Like I was reading about how organic food,
yeah.
like that whole movement has really changed the way.
That's true. It really has had a huge impact.
Supermarkets are laid out even.
Yeah, and how they market things.
Yeah.
Even things like store loyalty cards.
Oh, yeah.
And the data that supermarkets collect
Oh, my God.
from those is like gold.
Yeah,
It's like gold for understanding consumer behavior.
It is like big data.
It is. It's big data, and they use it not only to, decide what to stock on the shelves, but also to predict trends.
Yeah.
To target advertising, to personalize shopping experiences.
So it's not just about like putting the stuff out that people want.
Right.
They're also trying to influence what people want.
Exactly. They're trying to influence what you buy.
Wow, that's kind of scary.
It is a little bit, yeah.
But also interesting.
It is. It's fascinating to see how that all works.
All right, so we did the supermarket. Let's move on to parks.
Parks, okay.
And in the podcast, they talk about this Tom and Lucy playing football in the park and relaxing under a tree,
Okay.
which is something we all associate with parks. But
Yeah.
there's so much more to them than that,
Definitely. Yeah, parks are really important for people's well-being,
Yeah,
especially as more and more of us live in urban environments.
absolutely.
Studies have shown that access to green space can reduce stress,
Oh,
improve mood, and even boost creativity.
that's amazing.
It is.
So, in a way, it's almost like they're a necessity.
Yeah, they're not just a luxury. They're like a really essential part of a healthy city.
Yeah, yeah. It makes you wonder about how urban planning can incorporate those spaces
Right.
more thoughtfully. Like I was reading about that city that turned an old elevated railway
Yeah.
into a park.
The High Line.
Yeah, the High Line.
In New York.
In New York, it's like this
Yeah.
amazing
It's beautiful.
community space and tourist attraction.
It's a great example of how creative urban design can really transform a city.
And bring people together.
Yeah, and make it a more livable place.
Okay. So we're seeing that these public spaces,
Yeah.
they're not just places to go, you
Right.
know?
Right.
They're actually really impactful in our lives.
They shape our lives in a lot of ways.
Yeah. All right, so let's talk about one that's super impactful.
Okay.
School.
School. Yep.
They use the example of David and Mia discussing their school day.
Okay.
But as we all know, school's about so much more
Oh, yeah. Way more than just academic.
than just going and sitting in a classroom.
Right. It's like a microcosm of society
That's a great way to put it.
where you learn to navigate social dynamics,
Totally.
hierarchies, expectations.
Yeah.
You develop critical thinking skills.
Yeah.
You learn to collaborate.
Yeah. You learn how to deal with bullies.
Right, exactly. You learn all these life skills that are essential.
And it's interesting how like you think about schools in other parts of the world
Yeah.
and how they reflect different
They do reflect different cultural values.
cultural values. Yeah, like some cultures place a huge emphasis on rote memorization. Other cultures are more about critical thinking and problem solving.
Absolutely. And those values are reflected not just in the curriculum, but also in like the whole structure of the school system, you know?
It's really fascinating.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to a place that's
Okay.
maybe a little bit less fun.
A little bit less fun. Okay.
The hospital.
The hospital, all right.
So they have this really short little interaction between Sam, who has a headache,
Okay.
and a nurse. Which, you know, at first glance, that seems really simple.
Yeah.
But hospitals are places that are associated with,
Yeah, they're places of vulnerability,
Yeah.
of healing.
like, really intense.
Yeah, where technology and human compassion kind of intersect.
Yeah. And they've really evolved over time, you know?
Yeah.
From being places where you only went if you were, like,
Right, if you were at death's door.
yeah, about to die,
Yeah.
to being these places of, you know,
Yeah, cutting edge medical innovation.
yeah, like amazing technology.
Yeah, right.
I was reading about how, like, you know, minimally invasive surgery
Oh, yeah.
and personalized medicine are
Amazing.
like completely changing healthcare.
Changing everything.
But then it also brings up these ethical questions,
Yeah.
you know,
It does.
like who has access to care?
right.
How much does it cost?
Yeah.
And, you know, where do we draw the line in terms of medical intervention?
That's right. Those are really important questions
Really important.
that we as a society need to grapple with.
Yeah. Okay. So last but not least, let's go to the bus station,
The bus station.
which they use to just illustrate, like,
Okay.
you know, it's a very common act of catching a bus.
Right.
But like we've seen with all these other public spaces, there's usually a lot more going on.
There is, yeah, the bus station is interesting because it's kind of a transitional space.
It is.
You know, it's a crossroads where people from all walks of life,
Yeah, they converge.
yeah, even if just for a brief moment.
Just passing through.
Right. And you see like a real microcosm of society there.
Heavily.
You know, students, workers, families, travelers, all just passing through on their own individual journeys.
Yeah. And it also, I think, raises these issues of
Yeah.
urban mobility and economic disparity.
It does, for sure.
You know, like who relies on public transportation and why?
Right.
And how does access to reliable transportation affect people's lives?
Absolutely. It has a huge impact.
Yeah. So the bus station's not just a place to catch a bus.
Right. It's not just a place to wait.
It's really like,
It's a reflection of how we move through our cities.
yeah,
And how those systems impact our lives.
I have a lot more.
Yeah.
So, wow, we've journeyed from the supermarket to the bus station.
We have.
What are your final thoughts?
I think it's amazing how these public spaces, while they serve these practical functions, you know,
Yeah.
they also act as these mirrors to society.
Yeah, they really
They
do.
reflect our values, our challenges, our aspirations, and they're constantly evolving along with us.
They are, yeah. It makes you realize that even the most, you know,
Yeah.
mundane,
Yeah.
everyday places can.
Can offer these really profound insights
Yeah.
into the human experience.
So next time you're out and about, take a look around at these public spaces you're in.
Yeah, pay attention.
Think about which ones you know
Yeah, which ones resonate with you?
resonate with you the most and why.
Yeah.
We'd love to hear your thoughts on how these everyday environments shape your life and the world around you.
Absolutely.
All right, until next time.
See ya.
Bye.
Bye.